First of all, I'm so bored right now. I haven't been this bored in so long, bro. I was even supposed to make this video. I literally was just so bored, and I'm challenging myself right now to stay away from habits that I usually do when I'm bored that aren't the best for me. So I was just so bored, and me not wanting to go back to those habits, I was just like, bro, I might as well make a video. It's been like over a week since I made a video, so I might as well. Couple disclaimers before I start. This is the best angle I could get. I wanted there to be some nature outside. It's the best angle I could possibly set up by myself. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be looking straight for the most part. But if there's any important points, I will turn towards here. So second disclaimer. This is all off the top of my head. I don't know how long this is gonna be. If the video cuts and then it goes to another clip, it's cause I think this camera cuts out every 15 minutes and starts a new clip every 15 minutes. So that's why, but yeah, that's all the disclaimers. So I was just thinking, I was just like, bro, let me just, when I thought, let me make a video, I was like, what video would I make? And then I seen some thumbnail on YouTube that made me want to make a video talking about kind of the state of the world. At least that's where I see it, because everybody perceives everything differently. So this is just what I think the state of the world is in right now. Yours could be very different, but this is what I think. I've been thinking about this a couple days before I even decided to make this video. I've been thinking about like the state of the world, like just what's going on, and I kind of boiled it down to there's a loss of balance. I feel like life right now is very imbalanced. Life as a whole is very imbalanced. And one thing about life that I've realized is nothing truly works well. Nothing works without balance. Everything in life must have a balance for it to function properly. This happens in every single thing about life that functions. There must be a balance. That's the reason that there's a man and a woman, because they balance each other out. That's the reason why the concepts of good and bad, because they balance each other out. Broke and rich, they balance each other out. For something to work in life, there must be a balance. Two weights that keep each other level in the simplest form. So I believe that currently in the world, there's just a loss of balance. People are leaning, people overindulge in things. People are confused. That's how I'll put it. The world is in a state of imbalance because of the confusion that's going around in the world. And it's not hard to see why people will be confused in a world that we live in. The world of today is extremely confusing. Like, even just 19 years ago, like let's say 15 years ago when I was a little kid, it's not the same at all. A lot has changed. And a lot is changing more quickly than it ever has before. Which is why there's so much confusion in the world, which is throwing off the balance of the world. You got... And I think one of the biggest imbalance that is messing up the world that I've seen, in my opinion, is there's an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy in the world. This is just me. I don't know if this is just me, but in my opinion, it seems to me that a lot of men, a lot of guys are giving up on life, giving up in general, and because of that, they are becoming more feminine than masculine. A lot of guys are giving up on themselves, giving up on their grind, because I've noticed in life that the way life is going right now, it's harder and harder every year to, I guess, be a man. Not trying to sound cringe, but it's harder. It gets harder and harder every single year to be a man. So a lot of guys are giving up. A lot of guys are transitioning to become girls. A lot of guys are just acting more feminine, complacent, submissive, because the power dynamic has shifted. Whereas it was balanced before, I'll say like just even 100 years ago, the masculine and feminine energy in the world was balanced. But now, because of media, all the stuff that's being pushed in the media, it's getting flipped as to where now women are the ones that have more masculine energy versus now men are the ones that have more feminine energy in general, which is the root of a lot of problems, because now that because men are getting weaker, it essentially, long story short, because I don't want to stay on this topic for too long. Essentially, long story short, you can tell a kid, if you put two kids next to each other and said guess which one grew up without a father based on the looks, based on the story, you'll be able to guess immediately which kid grew up without a father. Immediately. Because there are certain things that a dad do, certain energy a dad has that a mom does not have. Your dad is supposed to be that strong force that's supposed to tell you, no. That's supposed to guide you. That's supposed to stop you the hard way. That's why there's good cop and bad cop. Like I said, it's balance. The mom is the more nurturing one. The mom is the one that, talks to you about your feelings, that you're going to go to when you're in need of emotional help. Whereas the dad is the one that's going to just tell you how it is, tough love. Life is hard, life is tough, it sucks. Get up when you fall. Hit that guy back if he hits you, type thing. So, because there's less and less of that father figure, whereas due to reasons of maybe men getting locked up, dads getting locked up and going to jail, a lot of people transitioning, a lot more homosexual people in the world, that father figure and that male figure that was prominent just even 50 years ago is dwindling. And now there's more feminine energy than masculine energy. The balance is off, like I said originally, which is causing a lot of the issues that you see today, which I'm not going to specifically go into because at the end of the day, that's not a topic I really want to discuss or go deep into. That's just my general thoughts on the masculine and feminine energy being imbalanced. So, the world is confused. The world is imbalanced. And the world is imbalanced just even in terms of people spend more time on the screen in the fake world than the actual world. It's imbalanced. Look at anybody's screen time on their phone. Their screen time is literally, it's going to say 8 hours of screen a day. So let's say you're on your phone. The average person's on their phone 8-9 hours a day. Let's say you're on your phone 8 hours a day. Let's say you sleep 8 hours a day, which you probably don't because you're on your phone. So let's just say in general, you're on your phone 8 hours a day, you sleep 8 hours a day. That means 2/3 of your life, you're not conscious in the real world. 2/3 of your life, you're not seeing what's going on. 1/3 of your life is on a screen. A full third. Think about that's like living 30 years and 10 of those years was literally looking at your phone. It's imbalanced. When you spend more time in the fake world, when you spend more time on Instagram, when you spend more time on Twitter, all of these social medias, you lose touch of the real world. Because one thing I've noticed about the fake world, the internet world, is that people are really bitter there. People are really angry there. People are really depressed there. And being on the internet long will literally make you hate people. I noticed that I would get on something like Twitter and I would just see all the bullshit people talk about, how people come at each other, how people, like, it's just negative energy, negative all the time. And I literally would start making me think, it started to make me think that this is what really, people are really just like this. In 2022, in the world we live in, people are really just like this now. People are rude, people are arrogant, people don't care about no one but themselves, people are just lazy, people are just, I don't like using the words good and bad, but I don't have any other term to describe it other than bad. It just made me think people are bad. Because in the internet world, you're free to do anything you want. You're free to be whoever you want to be, essentially. Free to say whatever you want to say. So I guess a lot of people go to the internet to let loose a lot of feelings that they would never say in real life. A lot of things that they would never do in real life, they go to the internet to do, which is why it brings out the worst in people. But when you go off the internet, which is what I've noticed from being off the internet, when you're just in real life and you're just walking around and you're talking to people who don't really go on the internet like that, people who like to live in the real world, you will start to notice that no, the majority of people in this world are actually not bad. The majority of people in this world are just trying to live a decent living, an honest living, and trying to take care of their family. And the majority of people are not these miserable, bitter, hateful people that you will see on the internet. That's what I noticed when I take breaks from social media, because I'm not really ever on social media like that, but when I just really cut it out and just focus on people I talk to in real life, it's a lot more pleasant of an experience, whereas to where I'm looking online and seeing how people interact with each other, where I'm looking online and seeing the types of things that people say. And it just made me, and that's what happens when you have an imbalance in your life. When you spend a lot of your time on the internet, you have more time for people to say things to you, you have more time for people to come at you, you have more times for your feelings to get hurt, you have more times to be insecure about what other people are doing. You don't have time to focus on yourself. And when you focus on everything else but yourself, you start to lose yourself. This is why I feel a lot of people are losing themselves. The state of the world right now is the majority of people are lost. And they go to the internet trying to find answers, go to the internet trying to seek guidance. This is why a lot of people, I feel, they don't know their true purpose in life. They don't know what they was truly meant to do, and they will never know what they was truly meant to do. The majority of people in this day and age, they will never reach their full potential. Never, never, because they don't have balance in their life. It all ties back to balance, yin and yang, which is very important. I've always believed Eastern traditions, Eastern customs from the East, especially Buddhist customs, Asian customs, they understand life, which is why they created the yin and yang. Or not even created, because yin and yang just exists in life, but they made a visual representation for us. There must be balance in life. When there's no balance in life, things do not work, which is why the world is where it is right now. There has to be balance in life, but it's imperfect. Regardless of how balanced it's going, regardless of how balanced you think you're living, regardless of how balanced life does get, it will always be imperfect. That's why there's a little black in the white, there's a little white in the black, because nothing can be perfect. There's a bug on the camera. Nothing can be perfect. But on the internet, people try and portray lives like they're perfect, which and then forces other people or influences other people to try and portray a life that is perfect, which we all know doesn't exist, which forces people to go out of themselves, do things they wouldn't normally do, say things they wouldn't normally say, put up a front for the internet. All a front for the internet. It's crazy. And I'm definitely no better than I'm not better than any human. I'm not saying I'm morally above anybody, because at the end of the day, I make mistakes every single day just like you. And when I make videos, I don't make them to put myself on a moral high ground above anybody, because at the end of the day, when I make videos, I'm also talking to myself. And I just feel like in this day and age, people don't like to use their ears. People don't like to listen, which is something I've realized. Which is why people in this day and age lack an immense amount of knowledge that people back in the day did not lack. People in this day and age believe that just because they have the internet and they can Google something and read something, it means that they know everything. People believe just because they read something online that they're smarter, which is not the case at all. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather listen to somebody who's experienced something that I'm trying to find out about or learn about, rather than go online and just read something and think that I know. Because at the end of the day, you can never know as much as somebody who has experienced it. You can never know something as well reading it versus you doing it. This is something that I feel is a big problem. And it's all a cycle. Nobody likes to listen to each other no more. Nobody listens to each other no more in this day and age. And in turn, people aren't heard. And when people don't feel like they're heard, they don't like that. Which is why you talk to people nowadays, and everyone's just always so eager to get their opinion out. Everyone's always so eager to say what they want to say, rather than, I'm eager to hear what this person has to say, or I'm eager to hear this guy's ideas, or I'm eager to learn from this. But people feel so much that they're not heard, that any opportunity they get to be heard, they want to be the only person that's heard. And then it just snowballs into them, because they want to be the only person that's heard. In the conversation, they dominate, and people who want to be heard in that conversation go to their next conversation and dominate. And it's an endless cycle. It's an endless loop. But what people don't understand in this day and age is that everybody is a teacher. You don't have to go to college to be a teacher. I'm a teacher. You're a teacher. Everybody is a teacher. A crackhead on the side of the road is a teacher. You can learn something from every single person that you encounter. And the smartest people know that it's better to listen way more than you talk. It just doesn't make sense. Look, I'm going to break down how it doesn't make sense. Okay, look, I'm gonna put it like this so you can really understand. If I'm trying to learn about, let's say I'm trying to learn about apples, and I listen to somebody talk about apples for 5 minutes, and then I just start talking about it, thinking I know about apples. This is probably a bad example, but you'll still get the point. Will I know more about apples? Let's say I have an hour. This is better. Let's say I have an hour with somebody that knows everything on apples. Will I know more about apples if I listen for the majority of that conversation versus if I talked for the majority of that conversation? Obviously, if I talked more than I listened, I'm not going to get anything. But if I listened the majority of that conversation and talked less, I have learned more. I don't know if that example is good, but you get what I'm trying to say. If you go around your life constantly just spewing shit out into the world, but your ears are not open, you're not taking in information. You're never taking in new information. So you will only know, you have a ceiling. Every time you're talking instead of listening, you're at your ceiling. Whereas every time you're listening instead of talking, your ceiling of knowledge increases and increases every time learn something new. Every time you listen to something new, your ceiling increases. Whereas when you're always talking, when you're always shutting people out, your ceiling stays the same, if not decreases. That's how I feel. That's how I feel, and that's what I feel is a very important. I feel is a very important aspect of this conversation is that people don't respect people don't respect old heads. And yes, old heads are very annoying. They're very annoying. Trust me, I know. However, you can still learn from them. People in my day and age, my generation, I know this because I talk to my friends. They don't listen to old heads at all. They think old heads are outdated. They don't know anything what they're talking about. Oh, that's happened back in the day. It's different now. Yes, life is different now. But at the end of the day, there's nothing new under the sun. Things are going on now that happened 1,000 years ago. It's just not happening in the same exact way. Example. Now people travel with planes, right? But before planes, people traveled with boats. They would still get to their destination. It's just a different way of getting there. It's just now it's an updated way of getting there. However, the same principles will still apply for travel if you're, you know? If anything, if you take anything from this video, I would highly suggest that you do a lot more listening than talking. You just learn more, bro. People in this day and age are extremely closed-minded. They don't really know much. And if they do, they don't know enough to speak on topics with substance. Because people don't like to really dive deep. People don't like to spend time on anything. Everybody's always in a rush to do something. People don't like to spend time on learning something. People will watch something for 2 seconds and think they're an expert. No. Another thing. A smart person knows that you can never know everything on a topic. Ever. Even Mike Tyson does not know every single thing there is to know about boxing. It's impossible. What in this generation, we have this mentality that goes around as, oh, I know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Oh, I don't need this. Oh, I don't need help. I don't need advice. But if you're truly smart, even if you read a book 100 times, if you were truly smart, you will know that if you read it 101 times, you will get something else from it. The hard things in life take time. Things that are worth anything in life takes time. So you can't possibly master anything or think that you know about anything when you haven't spent time on it. Another problem with day and age is the patience is very lacking. The generation lacks highly impatient generation. And this is because social media screens, reducing people's attention span. So now people don't want to wait for anything. People want everything right just now, and you're not going to get far with that mentality. You're not going to have the motivation to grind for 6 months to dominate your sport, or grind for the 8 years it takes to be a doctor in school. If you don't understand that patience is key. Patience plus consistency. You can achieve anything with that. Now I understand we live in a fast-paced world. We live in a fast-paced world now. It's not like back in the day in that sense. However, the world is moving fast-paced. You need to move at your own pace. You can't move at the pace of the world. I'm not telling you to do everything super slow and not get anything done. However, do things at your own pace. You're not him. You're not her. So maybe it took her a week to do that, and it might take you a month. Maybe it took you a week to do that, and it might take her a month. People are not the same. I believe no two people are born the same at all. However, we live in a society where we're all born different, but yet majority of people end up the same. Like, it's crazy. Everybody's born different, but then you just want to be like everybody else. It's gone to the point where it's crazy. I could look at somebody IG, somebody could tell me what type of music they listen to, and I already know what type of person they are just off of that. Because there's like archetypes of people. There's the the jock guy, the gym bro, the vibey guy who listen to Cardi and shit, the gay guy who's not over the top about being gay, the gay guy who makes sure everybody knows he's gay. There's mad archetypes. And most people fall into an archetype when you're supposed to be your own archetype, one of one. I don't understand. It's so I don't understand. People are born different. They do everything to be the same as the next person, but yet they try and convince themselves that they're still different. I don't get it. People will be the stereotype, like the stereotypical white girl, the stereotypical nigga, but yet they'll still try and somehow make themselves believe that they're different when they're doing everything to be the same as others. I don't know if it's just me, but you don't have to try to be different. Me, I don't try. It's just I just am, and I never tried to be the same as y'all. If anything, you have to try to be like other people. If you truly just let go and embrace who you are, you won't have to try to be different. You will just be different. Because the majority of people can't let go. The majority of people aren't going to embrace who they truly are. Which is why the majority of people are either him, or yeah, that's a her, or yeah, that's a Karen, or yeah, that's a, you know? But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a goat or something. Because I really don't try at all, but yet people still tell me that I'm mad different. But I don't know, what else should I talk about? The state of the world. What did I just say? I said patience. Yeah, patience. I'm going to end off on this point unless something else comes to my mind. Find out what you truly want in life. Find out what you truly want. Because the majority of people in this day and age, they don't know what they truly want in life. Because the majority of human nature is you only want that because that person has it. There are certain things that you only want because other people have it. You wouldn't want money if money didn't exist and nobody had money. You wouldn't want a supercar if that guy didn't have a supercar and, and he wasn't doing all this with a supercar. The majority of things in people's lives, they only want it because other people have it, or they want to look a certain way to other people. They don't truly want it. And to truly find what you want, you need to disconnect from everybody else and truly focus on yourself. That means get off social media for like a week straight. Don't look at a single post on nothing. Delete everything. And you will truly realize what you want. Because you're living your life. Most likely you're living your life for other people. Literally. You're grinding for shit that you don't really want. You're hanging out with people that you don't really like. You're trying to act a certain way to fit in. Majority of people don't really know what they want. And when they really find out what they want, they're 50 and now they're regretting life. They're 50 and now they're saying, damn, I wish I didn't let Kevin bully me into not playing football. Damn, I wish I didn't let Stacy tell me I wasn't good enough to be a cheerleader. Wish I didn't let Stacy, bullshit. Anyway, know what you really want. Find out what you really want. To end off the video, important points I made, because this video is all over the place. So if you really made it all the way to the end, bro, that's crazy. You're a GOAT. If you skipped here, you're not a GOAT. Go back and watch. Anyway, before this video cuts again, let me summarize my points. Look at this nature. Find out what you truly want in life. Stop living life for others. Stay patient. Stay consistent. Be different.